Loud and clear, we like to be left alone. Kids screaming, dog whining, cat on the throne. Tesco club card chaos, snacks hit the floor. The antisocial podcast, your headphone escape. Decompress, chaos you'll adore.
Hello and welcome back to Leave Me Alone, the podcast where I'd like 5 minutes of peace, but instead I live with a tiny human, where every tantrum feels sponsored by the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Welcome to Leave Me Alone.
So quick heads up, you've had an episode Tuesday and you're getting one now. I'm not inconsistent, I'm unpredictable, I'm keeping it exciting. You don't know when I'm coming back, and neither do I. If you enjoy chaos, poor decision making, and stories that make you feel better about your own life, give the podcast a follow. It really helps. And honestly, I need the support. So let me start off by telling you a little bit of a story, because this week my family accidentally turned our house into an escape room, and not one of those fun immersive ones either, one with real panic and terrible communication. So my wife and Toddler are outside in the garden, right, living this really wholesome little life, gardening, fresh air, probably one acoustic guitar away from a lifestyle vlog, and then my son discovers a yo-yo. Now, apparently, in the hands of a toddler, a yo-yo becomes less of a toy and more of a tactical weapon. He somehow threads it under the shed door, loops it perfectly around the bottom, and jams the whole thing shut, like genuinely shut. The door just stopped functioning, like the shed itself went, no, you two live outside now. So now they're trapped in the garden, my wife can't get the door open, my toddler thinks it's hilarious, and she's outside shouting my name trying to get my attention, except I'm inside, completely unaware. And next door, the neighbour's out there jet washing with the intensity of a man removing forensic evidence. Absolutely full volume chaos. So I can't hear a thing. They must have been locked inside that shed for a good 15 minutes before I looked at my phone. I was just floating around the house in total peace, probably making a tea, maybe even sitting down, living the kind of quiet life people meditate for. Then I checked my phone. 12 missed calls and 2 videos. And I knew immediately this wasn't going to be a relaxing watch, because that's not communication anymore, that's evidence. The minute your partner sends videos instead of texts, you're already in trouble. So I open the videos and it's my wife looking absolutely terrified, like she's in some hostage situation she's trying not to panic through. And in the background, my toddler's just casually shouting, help, help. Not crying, not distressed, just loudly participating in what he believes is a group activity. It genuinely looked like one of those hostage videos where someone's trying to stay calm while madness is happening just off camera. And I'm sat there watching it from the sofa thinking, what on earth has happened in the last 10 minutes of my life that I've missed this level of escalation? So I'm sitting there completely confused, watching what looks like a low-budget action film filmed in my garden. And suddenly I realise my family has essentially been locked outside for ages, while I've been indoors living life like a divorced woman in a cottage. So I get up and start walking to the back door. But even as I'm walking there, I get this brief, dangerous thought, like just a flicker of, do I just leave them out there for another 5 minutes? Because from my perspective, everything is calm. The kettle's done, the house is quiet, I'm living in peace for the first time all day. So I get up and I do the only sensible thing a responsible adult can do in that moment. I sit back down. I don't. I immediately go and open the door before my internal monologue makes things any worse. I remove the yo-yo and open the shed door. My wife looks like she's been trying to negotiate her way out of a crisis for the last hour. And my toddler is still in the background shouting help. And I'm just standing there thinking, this is the best 12 minutes I've had all week. But the worst part, they both look at me like I was the one in charge of the situation the entire time. Like I'd locked them in the shed. And honestly, that pretty much sums up parenting a 3-year-old, which brings us on to this week's topic. Parenting a 3-year-old. Because I don't know what happened, but mine has turned into a full-on fighter. He wakes up and chooses violence. No warning. You'll be sat there minding your own business and suddenly, bang, straight in the face. And you can't even react properly because he's 3. So you've just got to sit there like, right, okay, we don't hit, but also, that was a strong left hook. He started kicking as well. Why is he kicking? I don't remember signing him up to anything. There's no classes. This is just natural talent. And everyone gives you advice like, stay calm, get down on their level, explain your feelings. Mate, he just headbutted me over a yoghurt. He doesn't care about my feelings. So I've come up with my own parenting techniques. 5 tips if you're also raising a tiny UFC champion. Tip number 1. Dodge. Just improve your reflexes. Stay alert. This is no longer a home, it's a training facility. Tip number 2. Overreact internally. Stay calm externally. Inside, you're like, why am I under attack? Outside, you're just like, we use gentle hands while seeing stars. Tip number 3. Treat it like body cam footage. Suspect approaching calmly, then suddenly launches an unprovoked yoghurt-based attack. Backup requested. Tip number 4. Remove yourself with dignity. No storming off, just quietly leave and say, I'm going to step away before I argue with someone who eats crayons. Tip number 5. Remember, they're only free, which is the only thing stopping this from becoming a full WWE situation. I tried gentle parenting, and he gently ignored me. I tried being firm, and he laughed at me. Actually laughed. In my face. I'm basically living with someone who has no job, no bills, and the confidence of a man who owns multiple properties. So yeah, that's my 5 tips for dealing with a toddler who thinks he's a UFC champion. And if you're going through the same thing, I feel for you. I genuinely do. If you relate, drop me some sympathy, or better yet, a follow, because clearly we're all just out here surviving children with 0 rules and unlimited confidence. And if you've got any tips of your own, I'd love to hear them, because at this point I'm literally open to anything that's going to stop me getting drop-kicked over a yoghurt. And speaking of carnage, we've got a trip to Haven coming up in June. Now, in my head it's going to be lovely. Fresh air, family time, nice walks, wholesome. But I also know I'm going with a 3-year-old. So what that actually means is I'm paying to be stressed in a different location. You just know what's coming. There'll be kids' discos. He'll either refuse to join in and just stand there judging everyone, or he'll go too hard and I'll be dragging him off like I've ruined his career. Then there'll be arcades, and I already know I'm going to spend about £40 just so he can win something that's worth about 3p and a mild sense of disappointment. Not even a proper prize, is it? Just the kind of thing that looks like it's escaped from a party bag in 2009. And well, bedtime, forget it. New place, new energy. He'll be up all night till midnight like he's in Ibiza. I'll be literally shouting him, "Come on son, it's time for bed," while he's ignoring me completely, busting shapes on the kids' dance floor like I'm not even speaking English. And then he'll be awake at 6 a.m. like nothing happened. And people always say, oh, it'd be such a nice break. From what? My house? Because the child is coming with me. It's not a break, it's a relocation. But I know, it's still one of those things where afterwards you're like, yeah, that was actually really nice. Even though in the moment you're just tired and slightly stressed, holding a melting ice cream while being shouted at. I think that's what parenting actually is, isn't it? Just constant chaos. One minute you're rescuing your family from a yo-yo related hostage situation, and the next you're preparing to be publicly humbled at a children's disco where your dance moves are being quietly judged by a 3-year-old with no respect for your effort whatsoever. And in between all of that, there's snacks, meltdowns, negotiations that make international diplomacy look simple, and moments where you're just standing in your kitchen wondering how your life ended up here. But the weird thing is, in all the madness, there's so much more good stuff. The little bits where they grab your hand for no reason, or say something completely ridiculous that makes you laugh when you're trying not to, or when they're asleep and suddenly all the chaos just turns into this tiny, peaceful human. I wouldn't change it for anything, even when he throat punches me out of nowhere, like it's part of his daily routine. So yeah, that's been my week and my future. Trapping my family, getting beaten up, planning a holiday that won't be relaxing, just normal stuff. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you follow the podcast so you don't miss the next one, because clearly anything can happen at this point. Leave a rating as well. It helps more people find the podcast and join me in questioning what's going on in my house. And if you're also raising a tiny unhinged human, I see you. I respect you. I fear them too. All right, I'm off, probably to get punched again. Until then, leave me alone.
That's a wrap. You've had your fix. The Antisocial Podcast. Catch the next mix. Stay chill, stay weird, and out of the crowd. We'll be back soon, talking loud. Well, kinda loud. La 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 la.